What you just said, Danny, I've just had this thought crop up. It's unfair that they're having to give these statements in toe the party line, but the thing is, there's the managers and the players, they expect it. In fact, they have to give interviews before game and after game, and it's not the high ups that are being interviewed.
They shouldn't have to answer questions on the Super League. You know, as a current player, it's very, very difficult when, you know, they've been concentrating on the game since last night and all today. All we've been doing is concentrating on the Super League, and we can't make head nor tail of it. We don't really know too many facts about it, and suddenly you're asking a player that's come off 30 seconds after he's finished a football match, where his emotions are running high, he's tired, he's not thinking about the Super League, and he has to be very sort of analytical, very eloquent in the way that he speaks, so he doesn't say the wrong thing. And I think that's very, very difficult at times. A lot of these players may have personal views, but they can't come out and have a go at their employers and say that they're a disgrace, because you'll be fined, you know, and that affects you badly. So I just think sometimes, yes, interviewers have the right to ask questions and, of course, but talk about football. Ask James Milner about the game. Maybe not about the Super League.
I completely agree with you, because I'm thinking back of yesterday's interview with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after the Burnley game, where he had to say, I have no idea about this. The news broke pretty much as the game was happening. At least the rumours were starting to crop up. I completely agree. But my point is, it's the people in charge who are making these decisions who are not actually coming out and giving press conferences. All they're doing, if anything, are issuing statements through the press officer and nothing else. It's a bit unfair in that sense, isn't it? That the people who are putting their name on the paperwork and contracts and all of that, and who pay their wages, shouldn't they be the ones answering these questions? Well, that's what I'm trying to get at.
It's like they've opened the door, thrown in a load of firecrackers and smoke bombs, closed the door and walked away and just let mayhem go off. And this is the problem. You know, as JMO sort of alluded to in the pre-show, we don't know any of the details in this. We don't know any of the finer points, and this is the biggest problem. The headlines, and all we've really heard is these 6 clubs, 12 clubs have signed up for a European Super League. That is going to happen as soon as possible. That's effectively the only facts that we have in this. As soon as possible could be 6 years down the line, could be 10 years down the line. It could be next season. We're all sort of surmising and having to make things up. Somebody, and I think, you know, sooner rather than later, somebody has to come out and give us actually the details of what they're talking about. Unless, again, this was a big PR stunt to test the water and see what the reaction might be. And now they might just back off. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point, Danny. Sorry, just to carry on. There was a game tonight and it was 1-1. The interesting thing about this, and I was just, as you were talking, Danny, I was thinking about that, you know, they put their toe in the water to see what the response is. At the moment, it seems like a shark is biting their feet off because the response is completely negative. However, the problem with it is, and you've mentioned this in the question there, Adam, is the fact that because the social media accounts have, from what I've seen, pretty much all the social media accounts have sent out a stock message or a stock statement, it would seem that the social media department know more about it than the players on the football field and even the managers involved. And with regards to the repercussions of this, if it doesn't go ahead, then they're still going to be tainted with the officialness of the announcement, even if they're, as you say, just testing the water. And I think that's the scary thing about it. If it goes ahead, as I say, and there is because there's a lack of clarity, there is a possibility that whatever the end product looks like, it could suit more people than in a positive way than an adverse way. Not the way that they planned it or the way that they described it in this sort of brief statement today. But there's too many people not knowing enough, and too many of these people happen to be people working at the football club. And I think from Danny's point, from the original question, Adam, I think it's a great question. I think it's the perfect question that a commentator, an interviewer should ask after the game. The one criticism I'd have from the players and the clubs would be, guys, you're going to get asked this question, let's answer in a certain way. And it's not what we want to hear as pundits, it's not what we want to hear as football fans. We want to hear James Milner. But as Danny rightly said, James Milner is being paid by Liverpool Football Club. And if the owners have said, this is what we're going to do with the Super League, then he has to, within his contract, you would, I'm sure, would have to honour the decision of the football club. So, if anything, the coaches and the players should have been forewarned or prepared for a stock answer, not here to talk about anything outside the Premier League. It was a great 1-1 draw. It was a bad 1-1 draw. We're looking to the next game and just let it lie at that. But unfortunately, now any football club can look at Bamford or James Milner and say that you have in some way gone against the football club, which is unfortunate for James Milner or Bamford if someone was to, or one of the owners were to go down that line.
Okay,